For more than 75 years, the American Academy of Neurology has been committed to creating novel ways to educate and assist members by providing the highest quality patient-centered neurological care. Welcome back to Day 2 in Denver and to the 2024 AAN annual meeting. I'm Sonia Mogi, and today we're highlighting all the ways the AAN is working to support you. Today we discuss the various opportunities and benefits the AAN offers to members. Then we'll go global as we introduce you to one of this year's International Scholarship Award recipients. And we hit the ice today for our first off-the-clock segment, from deciphering epilepsy to double axels. Neurologist Dr. Rebecca Matthews explains her passion for figure skating. Plus today, our tour of the institutions and organizations at the forefront of neurologic research takes us to the University of Pittsburgh. We'll deep dive into the head study at Pascoal Laboratory. We're covering a lot on this second day and want to make sure you never miss a minute. AANTV is always on, and there are plenty of ways for you to watch. You can always find the latest episodes on the TVs placed throughout the convention center, on the in-house channels at several of our partner hotels, on the homepage of the annual AAN meeting website, and on the AAN's YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. In 2018, Rwanda's Dr. Olivier Uwishima established the Oli Health Magazine organization and the OMA Global Research Fellowship to address critical health issues not only for Rwanda, but also on a global scale. And Dr. Uwishima has been named to Forbes' 30 Under 30 in Medicine and Research list, published in The Lancet, and is 2024 AAN International Scholarship recipient. Let's meet Dr. Uwishima.
In the low and middle income countries, there was a gap in scientific research, mentorship, and training programs. So to bridge the gap, I came up with this fellowship to engage young people in professional health education and scientific research by empowering and equipping them with skills, mentorship to do research by themselves. The most complex challenges are health inequities. Also, there is emerging infectious diseases. There is climate change and environmental health. So there is non-communicable diseases. Also, there is lack of funding or inadequate funding, inadequate training and mentorship programs in low and middle income countries. Oli Health Magazine organization is a registered non-profit organization with a mission to engage young people in professional health education, mostly from low and middle income countries. Their feedback are very good. They are so positive. Most of the fellows, they received scholarships to study here in the USA, in Canada, in Europe, in some European countries. The impact of what I've been doing and the impact has on the community. I will use this award so as to come up with many outreach programs to educate our community how they can prevent themselves from different neurological diseases and be able to save their lives. It is a way of motivating me to keep aiming higher, also to keep impacting my community, giving back to the community. Also, it sends a motivation to other young people and inspiration to other young people who look up to me as their role model.
The AAN Member Engagement Committee provides direction on overall membership policies, recruitment, and retention strategies. It also advises the Academy on the optimal member experience as it relates to communications and digital strategies. Committee Chair and Vice Chair Dr. Maisha Robinson and Dr. Bo Nakamoto are in studio with more on their mission. Maisha, Bo, thank you so much for joining us here today in Denver, Colorado, where members are experiencing one of the best reasons to become AAN members, the top-notch educational experiences here at the AAN annual meeting. What are some other reasons why you think people should consider becoming AAN members?
So thank you so much for having us. You're absolutely right. We are at a large meeting where there's fantastic education and science. The other opportunities for AAN members include access to journals, practice guidelines, opportunity to really hone leadership skills, participate in the Academy's advocacy efforts, which can then also be taken locally to one's institution or region. People also become members because they want to be part of the larger community of neurologists. Membership in the Academy can also improve career fulfillment and satisfaction as well.
The AAN actually has nearly a quarter of its membership based outside of the U.S. What are you doing to sort of grow that, and what makes you most excited about the future of the AAN?
One of the great things about our organization is our community, and I'm hopeful that our community is going to start to get a lot larger. And I think we, as an organization, have a lot to offer, and I think we have a lot to learn from other people internationally. And I think that we have a lot to learn as far as education, advocacy, leadership, and also the unique thing is inclusiveness, equity, and diversity. So that's the part that I'm most excited about, is the fellowship and the community that our international members can add to hopefully promote brain health for all.
Absolutely, and if each of you could describe your membership experience in 3 words, what 3 words would you use?
I would say this has been transformative. It's been career advancing and very fulfilling.
What about you?
I think it's fellowship, also career advancing as well. And I think deep connections with staff members, deep connections with members. And that's pretty much one of my core values, is making deep, meaningful connections in life.
For each of you, what has been the most rewarding things about your positions?
Having the opportunity to learn about the Academy, to understand all of the things the Academy does for members and for me, having a chance to be engaged in the Academy, and now being on this side in leadership in the Academy, I have the opportunity to also share the benefits and the value of membership with other people. And it's wonderful to see people who go from that journey of being uncertain about the Academy to really being all in, like I am.
What about you, Bo?
Yeah, I think a lot of us have similar stories. That I initially didn't know much about the AAN, but one of the staff members, I can't remember the topic we were talking about, but it was the way that they made me feel. It made me feel like they listened to me and that I was a special individual. And it was just that human connection that made me want to get involved with the Academy. And for me, the rest was history.
What have you heard from members that has made your work feel fulfilling to you?
Yeah, for me, when someone realizes how much the Academy actually does for our profession and for its members, and they realize how special the staff members and the members in our larger community are, and they want to give back and engage with our organization, for me, that light switch and that realization, that truly brings me joy.
What about you, Maisha?
Yeah, I think people really don't understand all of what the Academy does. Once people come into the fold and they have the benefit of being able to see what the Academy is doing for them, what the Academy is doing for all neurologists, what the Academy is doing for our patients, and advocacy efforts also with regard to access to neurologic care and ensuring that the right people get a chance to see neurologists and the neurology-led care team. I think people really understand why the Academy really is focused on enhancing the opportunity for us to really be able to do our jobs and to also take care of the patient population that we want to take care of.
Well, thank you both so much for all the work you do behind the scenes and for being with us here today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Turning now to the University of Pittsburgh, where the HEAD study is bringing together researchers from around the world to collaborate in the largest head-to-head PET dataset and harmonization effort ever conducted.
Alzheimer's disease is a devastating condition that affects directly or indirectly the life of millions of people. The HEAD study is the largest head-to-head study of PET tracers ever performed, and our approach is unique in the sense that you are scanning the same patient with multiple PET tracers in the same visit. This is the only way that you can harmonize tau PET tracers to the same scale.
Everybody is just really passionate and motivated to answer these bigger questions in the Alzheimer's field, and we all know that this data set can really help move things forward.
We want to develop new biomarkers capable support the development of new drugs, and also capable of support the identification of patients eligible to use new drugs in clinical trials and clinical practice without delay.
We're so excited to kick off our series highlighting the exciting and creative ways our members feed their passions outside of the office. Up first, we hit the ice with Dr. Rebecca Matthews, epileptologist and figure skater, in today's Off the Clock segment.
A little bit after the pandemic, I had just moved to a new area of Atlanta, and I was trying to think of something to do with my kids. And there was a rink that was like 10 minutes away from my house. And so I decided to enroll my daughter in learn to skate classes there. You know, she liked it okay, but she would just complain about being cold. It really wasn't her thing. But I completely got obsessed with skating, and I started doing the adult class. And then I started taking private lessons with a coach. And then I started competing, and just it really took off from there. I probably skate 5 to 6 days a week for 1 to 2 hours. I have 3 different coaches, and I've done many different disciplines. So besides singles, I've also tried pairs, and I also do ice dance. It sounds like a lot, but it's really my passion, and it's my wellness activity. And I really like that my residents see that I have something that I love outside of medicine that keeps me kind of grounded. You know, in neurology, we're all very cerebral and we're thinkers. And skating is a very mental sport. You have to concentrate a lot, and you have to just put everything behind you when you're on the ice. I think that's one of the reasons why I like it, because I don't have to think about all my everyday stresses. I have to just think about what I'm doing in that moment. And I think in neurology, we do similarly have to focus really hard and concentrate in order to take good care of our patients. The balance that it requires and the focus and concentration, it really is great for the brain. And so there are so many benefits to that. And I think that's, you know, really great to show our patients and to tell our patients that doing different things, challenging ourselves, trying different activities, it's stressing ourselves, you know, it's really good for our brain health. Injuries are so common in skating, and believe it or not, you wouldn't think head injuries would be common, but they are, because people fall and hit their head on the ice all the time. And so, you know, I've been really an advocate for protective gear. There are special headbands people can wear to prevent concussion in skating. And I really advocated for that amongst my peers and my colleagues that I skate with. It's such a dangerous sport, and I think it's really important for us to protect ourselves. But it has given me a lot more empathy for patients being on the other side and seeing what it's like to be injured, and also just the frustration you feel when you really want to get back to doing what you're doing, and you know, being able to know what that's like from the patient perspective. There's the whole adult skating world where we have sectionals, we have nationals, and I did qualify for nationals in 2022, and I didn't go because I had an injury. So I would like to go next year. I'm looking forward to competitions now that my injuries are healed, and also just doing more judging and mentoring.
And if skating isn't your thing, how about skiing? Just one look at the picturesque scenery here in Denver, and you may be tempted to skip a session for a day on the slopes. Turns out, you'd still be giving your brain a neurologic boost. Here's Dr. Mishay Murgula to explain.
Well, skiing has many benefits, not just neurological, but for general health. Physical activity can help burn calories, can help lower blood pressure, can help elevate mood, can enhance immune system. And through all of these mechanisms, potentially individuals who regularly engage in sport of skiing can live longer. It has actually been shown recently that average life expectancy of people who live in high country in Colorado is about 87 years, which is on average about 20 years longer than for people who live in the lower lands and do not engage in certain sports. There was also another study, this time in cross-country skiing, so slightly different sport, that indicated that people who engage in cross-country skiing on a regular basis also live significantly longer as opposed to people who do not. And given the fact that this is an outdoor sport, frequently in winter, there are risks associated with injuries, most commonly concussion, but there are also risks associated with the weather, for example, exposure to cold and exposure to altitude. Especially here in Colorado, many of the ski resorts are at or above 10,000 feet, which can influence how people feel. Ski boot compression syndrome is one of the ailments that can affect skiers. As a matter of fact, it was quite amusingly described back in 1973 in the New England Journal of Medicine by one of the physicians from New York. This is at the time when new ski boots were introduced, those plastic tall ski boots, and skiers started experiencing numbness and tingling of their feet, which we now know is secondary to compression of the peroneal nerve in the lower extremity, and can be quite uncomfortable for people who ski for prolonged periods of time. It's critical to have excellent fitting boots because it can completely eliminate the discomfort of skiing, and then you can focus on the physical activity, the beautiful surroundings, and truly enjoy. You know, for seasoned skiers, I couldn't emphasize more the importance of wearing a helmet. Concussion is a real danger of skiing, and I think having a good fitting helmet is critical, even if you're an experienced skier. And for those who are starting, I think getting a good fitting equipment, as we mentioned, especially the boots and also the helmet, is important, so you can really enjoy the sport and not suffer from ill-fitting equipment.
The University of Rochester Department of Neurology is shaping the next generation of neurologists under the guidance of Gretchen Burbeck. Having spent the last 30 years in Zambia and Malawi, Burbeck recognized the importance of neurology in global health and is making it her passion to highlight the neurologic needs of those living in sub-Saharan Africa.
The impact that you can have doing global neurology is enormous because the need is so great. Your expertise is going to really make the big difference. And also, I think it makes you a better neurologist.
I can't overemphasize the importance of having locally trained neurologists. My advice would be to collaborate widely, form networks, regional networks, global networks, and we in Zambia are very happy and willing to collaborate.
I think that the view of global neurology can actually be held wherever you're working. It's married closely with disparities work and with thinking about equal access to care and equal quality of care for populations. If we can understand fundamentals about the pathophysiology of common conditions like epilepsy, neuropathies, cognitive impairment, and stroke here, those findings are important everywhere.
And it's time to step outside the session room and give your brain some fun and games. We head to the Head Talk stage for some Neuro Jeopardy to see your colleagues test their fortitude in this classic game show with a neurologic twist.
We're thrilled to have you here for yet another wonderful Neuro Jeopardy session.
And that's the way to end a day. Seems like a good time was had by all, and we hope you enjoyed the second day as much as we have. From the new AAN strategic plan to ice skating and skiing, we've covered a lot of ground. And if you missed any portion of today's episode, AANTV is always on, and there are plenty of ways for you to watch. You can always find the latest episodes on the TVs placed throughout the convention center, on the in-house channels at several of our partner hotels, on the homepage of the annual AAN meeting website, and on the AAN's YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. Thanks for your time today. We will see you right back here again tomorrow for episode 3 of AANTV. Go have a great one.